Welcome to Life Happened, the place where people send in their very personal life stories for us to share with you. You can make a huge difference in their lives by sharing your feelings and advice for them in the comments below. My name is Stella, your host, and this story is from Jerry. Dear Stella, my name is Jerry, and 2 years ago, during one of my many introspective moments, I decided, quite morbidly, I might add, that I needed to leave my children more than just memories of Dad, their $15 inheritance, and a huge funeral bill. A higher parental voice commanded me to deposit a fatherly legacy, wisdom so profound, so meaningful, and so poignant that it would guide them for the rest of their lives, and the lives of their children, and their children's children. Note, what a wonderful and imaginative idea. I decided the delivery mechanism for my revelation would be a letter, an epistle, in the charge of my attorney, with the strict instructions to be breached and disseminated only in the event of my death. Thinking in lofty biblical terms, and with a clear grasp of my final lot, I knew that before the last gasped breath reluctantly abandoned my lungs, I must scribe on contemporary parchment the very meaning of life itself. A powerful inner spirit would surely rise from deep inside and pilot my mission, my new destiny. Self-inflicting the challenge of fathering the Magna Carta of my family was a noble thought indeed, but nevertheless a thought leaving me clueless as to the content of the communication. So I did what any intelligent, semi-creative human does when they're stumped. I immediately deserted my quest and seized upon some newly manufactured priority. Note, I do the same thing at times, as I'm sure some of our listeners do as well. Regrettably, anytime I neglect something that I've previously judged consequential, a metamorphosis occurs inside the domain of my excessive compulsive personality. It eats at my psyche, gnawing tiny wormholes starting from the back of my brain, where I dump them until they resurface in the foreground, taking their rightful place in life's little failures cubbyhole of my conscience, the very cause of my intermittent insomnia. Note, okay, now things are getting a bit more serious here if it's affecting your sleep patterns. And now might be a good time to hit the like button so you can stay up to date with stories such as Jerry's. So interesting. Now, fully awakened after a 2-year sabbatical, I again launched a cerebral pursuit to uncover the meaning of life. I pondered a cornucopia of questions and sought the answers to many issues, challenging my logic along the numerous branching paths. I labored intensely to cleanse my bias, but that was hopeless. No one really can, I decided. It's ingrained in our genes, then seeded in childhood and fertilized from our environment. It would take a better person than I to wash away this darkness. It's in all of us, you know. Witness the shameless prejudice surrounding the first OJ Simpson verdict. Ouch. Now, is that my coloring or the jury's? Or perhaps yours that I've so casually stirred? Note, the OJ Simpson trial certainly had its prejudices on both sides. In the drama of this discovery, I realized that a person can only be measured by two earthly sources. First, by other people. This by nature is a humanely flawed gauge, riddled with bias, fad, and fear. Or secondly, self-assessment, by far the toughest of the two, since the inherent shortcomings of the first incorporate with our own self-criticisms, or lack thereof, creating a compounded predisposition. The result? Immensely imperfect beings making immensely imperfect decisions. How frightfully unfair. But guess what? That's the way it is. The way it will always be. Note, yes, we ourselves are all quite different, and even with our imperfections are gloriously created. Notwithstanding, here is a sampling of my preliminary analytical triteness regarding a simple question with a complex kaleidoscopic answer. Stella, what is the meaning of life? Is it the propagation of our species? Is it success or fortune? fame, or love, or God? Is it all of these, none of these, or some of these? Is there a meaning at all, or are we merely consigned to meander through our existence, struggling to survive until our biological clock finally times out? Wow. Thank you for your letter, Jerry. It was written in the manner of prose, and quite well, I might add. First, my thoughts on Jerry's main focus. Creating something in the written word, perhaps that of a doctrine or other type of communication for his children to live by, to remember him for who he was and the part he played in the family. I believe this to be a grand idea and something for Jerry to challenge himself into writing. It would certainly be a gift to his children and even grandchildren, so that his memory could live on generation after generation. Second, I believe his question as to the meaning of life is something most of us ask daily, and it's certainly difficult to answer. I assume that however many people you ask this question to is how many different answers you will get. But no matter how different the answers may be, every answer will be the correct answer because we are all different and have unique lives. Thank God for that. For Jerry, the meaning of life is whatever he makes and lives it to be. The same goes for me and all who are listening. For some people, the meaning of life is God, period. For others, the meaning of life consists of a long list of answers. And for others, the answer is life, and there is no special meaning behind it. For me, personally, life consists of my belief in God, my family, love, kindness, beauty, learning, and the list goes on and on. So Jerry's question is not at all an easy one. Perhaps it would be a good idea for him to speak to a philosopher, clergyman, or go online to seek the answers he yearns for. What is the meaning of life? It's your call. So why not leave your answer below in the comments section? It would be great reading all of the different views. And hit the thumbs up button if you enjoyed Jerry's poignant story today. So perhaps you may have a comment, opinion, question, or answer to Jerry's story. If so, we would like to hear from you. And you can read other people's comments and opinions below relating to this letter. And remember that by liking and subscribing to Life Happened, you will hear me read letters every week on Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, which people send us about issues they are dealing with in their lives. These are real-life personal stories and people's everyday experiences. And don't forget, if you have a personal story or issue which you would like to share with us, please send us an email using the email provided in the description box below. We would be very happy to hear from you. We thank you for joining us today here on Life Happened. See you next time, and have a wonderful day.